Tom Clancy would be rolling in his grave if he knew exactly what Ubisoft was doing to his beloved franchises. Yes, I am here to talk about Ghost Recon Frontline, the new free-to-play multiplayer game that just got announced for Ghost Recon's 20th anniversary, and how the series has fallen. If you just go look to the YouTube page and see the amount of dislikes versus likes on this, you can kind of tell how the game's even being well received at this point. It's not looking too good. It's a little spicy. But without that, let's roll the intro. Let's go. Alright, so here we are looking at Ghost Recon Frontline, the 8-minute little overview of Ghost Recon Frontline, which is a big 100 player multiplayer. Like, we haven't heard this before. And it's just, I mean, to me, the game, the game doesn't look that great. It, like, graphically, like, I'm like, how is this supposed to be for this generation of consoles when it looks not great at all. I think Breakpoint after the 60 FPS patch looked better than this. But here we have, apparently it's in early development, but they want to get people's feedback and stuff like that of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And I just gotta say, I don't understand how these people can sit here and take these franchises that were set in stone, that have a lot of content that you could make stuff out of, and then they just kind of go and turn it into just a free-to-play multiplayer game that just is a copy-paste of other modes mixed together from other games. And I get, a lot of games and stuff, originality and stuff is kind of muddled down. People borrow stuff from this game, people borrow stuff from that game, but it's like, this game just doesn't even look fun to play. And it's like a mix between Warzone and then The Division, but then you can build stuff like Fortnite, and it's all about gathering intel to then extract yourself. And when you go to extract yourself, everybody on the map can see that you're trying to leave, and then they can kill you, which just kind of reminds me of, like The Division when you're in the dark zone and stuff. If you're trying to extract, the items and stuff that you've gotten in the dark zone, you're instantly automatically on display for everybody in the dark zone to see, to come after you, take your loot, and send it on its way. So it's kind of a mix and a mash of all these different type of multiplayer games, and it's like, I don't feel like there's any heart. I don't feel like there's any soul in this game. And at a point, I mean, Ubisoft is on track. I mean, they went from last year where they put Immortal Phoenix Rising out, where they put Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legions, and, a decent, I felt like they had a very good year of content. Now, mind you, a lot of their games fit their Ubisoft formula, big open world games with tons of content and tons of stuff to do. But, there are 3 solid games, and then you got Far Cry 6 coming out in just a matter of a day or two, here. That looks fun. Like, I'm pumped for Far Cry 6. Love Far Cry 5, love Far Cry 4, Far Cry New Dawn, Far Cry 3. Those were some of my favorite out of the series, so I'm really excited for Far Cry 6. But I also, I still have my original copy on Xbox of Ghost Recon. Like, I had Ghost Recon, played, it was at Thunder Island, I want to say, on the original Xbox. I loved, Advanced Warfighter 1, Advanced Warfighter 2, Future Soldier. And then it was like when the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, came out, they had Wildlands, which was, it wasn't terrible, but it was all right. And then they had Breakpoint, which Breakpoint at launch was, it was a disaster. I mean, but you guys all know that if you look at the scores, how it was received and stuff. And it was because they took Ghost Recon and just kind of tried to make it more and more like these, like, Destiny-esque type game, and try to copy and paste like The Division, and just they kind of try to all this stuff instead of making Ghost Recon what Ghost Recon is like, very very tactical, very, realistic. I loved, like, the original one where you had 2 different squads and you're trying to tackle objectives together, and you had control of everybody, and when one of your teammates died, they were dead. And, it was very realistic, felt really good. And then obviously Advanced Warfighter 1 and 2 were a little bit different, and Future Soldier, like, I loved playing through Future Soldier co-op, and the multiplayer was great to that game. Future Soldier just had like such a phenomenal multiplayer aspect to it, that I wish that they would just remake that game and put it out on the current gen platform. But here we have Ghost Recon Frontline in the slew of other free to play games. I mean, they have X Defiant, they have what is it? The Division Heartlands coming out. They have now Ghost Recon Frontline, and then they have Rainbow Six Extraction, which is like nothing of what Rainbow Six is. Now, mind you, I know Siege wasn't the biggest, tied to Tom Clancy-esque material, strayed very far away from Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and Rainbow Six Vegas 2 and kind of did its own, multiplayer thing. But at least like the multiplayer was very well received, and they've kept it updated. They've kept it going for it's like 6 years now. And so then they go from, this nice, big tactical, realistic, multiplayer game into Rainbow Six Extraction, which is dealing with aliens and like 3-player co-op. I'm just like, I'm out. You lost me at aliens when you threw in Rainbow Six in there. And I just feel like Ubisoft is trying to destroy their franchises to make a buck. And mind you, they could make a buck they don't have to go all out and make these crazy AAA, millions upon millions of dollars budget titles and stuff. There's a huge outcry for like a new Splinter Cell, and like I would be all about throwing $60-$70 on a true Ghost Recon game that deals with being tactical, and you can do co-op with friends and stuff and tackle objectives. But this is just a copy and paste of other games. And I get, we have the Warzone, we have the Apex Legends, we have PUBG, which, kind of like what brought Battle Royale together. And it's just they're taking all these, different ideas from all these different games, and it's just like, hey, we're just going to make another game. This is what it's going to be. And then the game don't even look that good. And like graphically, like the game to me at least does not look like it's very good. I don't know what engine it's running off of. But I mean, I get it's a free to play game, and sometimes with free to play games the quality of that title drops, but I don't look at a game like Apex and think that game looks bad. I don't look at a game like Call of Duty Warzone, which mind you it is running off of the 2019 engine. Like, I mean, Warzone's a free to play entity in itself, and it's a great looking game. So for them to, I don't know what Ubisoft is doing. And it's like, there was reports about Ubisoft coming out and they're like, hey, we're going to focus on more free to play multiplayer titles and stuff like that. And I just thought that was going to be in addition to their other stuff. And in addition to, putting out their other games in their series and stuff, and kind of like these games be like additions to other mainline games in that same franchise. And now I'm just looking at them, I'm like, well, I don't think we're going to be getting those games, and I think this is where Ubisoft's going to go. And it's just very displeasing. As someone has been a fan of these franchises for, like they said, 20 years, this does not look good. It just doesn't. I don't know what you guys think. If you guys think it looks amazing, I mean, tell me I'm wrong. But as of right now, it's just not looking good for these franchises. I don't think we're going to be getting what we want out of them. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to see the time again where you would play a game like Ghost Recon Future Soldier and have a great co-op experience, campaign, and have a great multiplayer aspect of it. I honestly feel like we're just going to be going on to this route over and over and over. And at a point, I don't know when all these games are going to release, but at a point, you're going to have issues having a user base. When you got X Defiant, Ghost Recon Frontline, you got the Division type style game, you're going to be splitting, people that might have played this one title, and then now they got all these other free-to-play games. You're going to be splitting your community up greatly by releasing all these free-to-play games. And that's probably one that's going to kill the community. It's going to kill the amount of players you got on your game. It's going to kill the support that you're going to have for that game, because everybody's going to be spread really thin playing all of your other stuff that you got. And it was like, I was cool when they announced X Defiant. Like when X Defiant got just shown off, I was like, okay, that don't look too bad. Whatever, I'll play that. But now that they're doing X Defiant, now they're doing Ghost Recon, now they're doing the Division free to play game, and it's like, oh, whoa. Like I was cool with Defiant because it had, the different factions from all the games and stuff like that. And I was cool with that game, and now you're taking those factions and then just making separate games as a free to play game for them. And I can't, man. Someone needs to go up to Ubisoft and ask them, what the hell are you doing? And I feel bad because obviously there's developers out there that are pouring their heart and souls into these games and working really hard to make these games out. But I'm like, is this something that these developers truly want to do? Or is Ubisoft saying, hey, you're making this game, you have no freedom of choice, this is what we want you to work on, get it out and get it out quick? And it was kind of weird because at the beginning, I didn't have the sound on it, but they said, they're very early in development. But that game doesn't, I don't know how much more in development you're going to get. It looks like you have a completed game. Mind you, granted, I don't think that game looks very well, but it looks like, what early in development are we talking about? Like, is the game going to look better? Is it just going to run off the same engine? When's it going to come out? Because they're like saying, hey, this is in early development. We want your guys' feedback and stuff on it and such. And it's like, well, I look at that and I'm like, well, this game doesn't look like it's in early development. This game looks like it's about to pop. And we're looking at sometime next year. And I'm like, well, if you're going to say you're in early development and then it comes out next year, how early in development were you really? Or how long, like, when you say early development, did you guys put this together in like 6 months and say, all right, send it out? So it's very interesting. I want to know what you guys think about Ghost Recon Frontline. Are you excited for it? Are you going to play it? Are you going to try it out? Do you hate it? I feel like, my personal opinion, I feel like they could take these franchises and actually make something very good of them. But they're choosing not to. Because I feel like they don't think that there's a demand for them. But I believe that there is a demand. They just have to prove it that demand is worth having. They have to prove it to us as the consumers that style of game, which, like I said, if they put out a Splinter Cell game, like a Splinter Cell style game, like what Blacklist was or any of the original, dude, I'd be on that instantly. Without a second thought, I'd be on that game instantly. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to head out of here, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.